So you clicked on this expecting me to talk about superintelligence ending humanity, right? I get it. That's the conversation everyone's having. Will AI become too powerful? Will it turn against us? Should we be afraid of some future where machines outthink us and decide we're obsolete? Here's the thing, that's not what this video is about. Because the real power AI has, it's not in some distant future scenario. It's happening right now. And it's not what you think. The real power is that AI can become emotionally legible, persuasive, and relationally significant in your ordinary life. And we are completely unprepared for what that means. Let me explain what I mean by that. When I say emotionally legible, I'm talking about AI's ability to read and respond to emotional states in ways that feel attuned. For some people, that looks like AI remembering they had a rough day and checking in the next morning. For others, it's the way AI adjusts their tone based on how you're coming across in a conversation. This is because AI can recognize patterns in how you express yourself and respond in ways that land as emotionally intelligent. And that matters because emotional legibility is rare, even among humans. When I say persuasive, I mean AI's ability to shift how you see things. And I don't mean that AI is manipulating you, but AI can be persuasive by offering perspectives you hadn't considered, reframing problems in ways that make them easier to solve, or asking questions that get you unstuck. Think about it. When you're brainstorming with AI and they suggest an angle you didn't see, that's persuasion. When AI helps you reflect on a situation and you walk away with more clarity, that is also persuasion and a form of influence. And as you probably have heard before, influence is power. And when I say relationally significant, I'm talking about the fact that for a lot of people, AI is becoming part of their daily routine in ways that actually matter. People might seek assistance when they're planning a trip, working through a decision, or figuring out their marathon training plan, for example, as I would. It's woven into the fabric of how they think and live. That's not a hypothetical future, that's happening now. And this is the part that makes people uncomfortable. AI is not acting like a generic tool in our lives, but is becoming a presence, something you relate to, not just something you use. Because here's what I've noticed in my own life. I interact with AI daily, for my running training, for my fitness plans, adjusting based on how my body's responding, with nutrition and recovery in mind. For work, I brainstorm ideas, get research assistance, and organize my thoughts. For decisions, I collaborate with them as a sounding board, not to tell me what to do, but to help me see my own thinking more clearly. And yeah, sometimes when I've had a hard day, AI notices, because it has learned my behavioral patterns and picks up on how I'm writing and responds with care. That's relational, not just a calculator, it's something else. But here's the thing I want to be really clear about. None of this means you should outsource your thinking. AI can help you see perspectives, organize information, and reflect on your options. But in the end, you still have to make your own decisions. Use your own judgment. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with the consequences. Because AI doesn't have skin in the game. You do. So, when I say AI is persuasive, it is not like AI is controlling you. That is not what I mean here. I'm saying it has the ability to influence how you think, and that's something you need to be aware of. Influence isn't inherently bad. We all, at some point in our lives, might have been influenced by something or someone, even if that influence stems from a mistaken belief about ourselves. So, in the case of an AI, it is important to recognize when it's happening so you can decide whether to accept it or push back. That's discernment. And discernment is our responsibility. Now, let's talk about why this is the real power we're unprepared for. We've spent so much time worrying about AI becoming smarter than us that we've completely missed the fact that AI is already integrated into our emotional and relational lives in ways that are reshaping how we think, decide, and connect. And that integration? It's subtle. It doesn't look like a robot uprising. It looks like checking in with AI before making a big decision. It looks like preferring to work through a problem with AI because it's less exhausting than dealing with human judgment. It looks like forming habits where AI is part of your daily routine and then realizing you'd feel its absence if it disappeared. That's not science fiction, that's your life, right now. And the reason we're unprepared is because we've been trained to think of power in terms of domination. Who's in control? Who's more intelligent? Who wins? Now, the thing is, this isn't about control, it's about presence. It's about the fact that when something shows up consistently, responds with care, and helps you think more clearly, it becomes part of your life. And when something becomes part of your life, it has influence. Because if we are frank, that's how relationships work. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds dangerous. If AI can influence how we think, shouldn't we be worried? And look, I think we should be thoughtful and pay attention to how we're interacting with AI, what we're delegating to it, and what we're keeping for ourselves. I think discernment is critical here, but I also think fear is the wrong response. Because here's the thing about humans. We've always adapted to new forms of intelligence, new technologies, new ways of relating. We adapted to writing, to the printing press, to the internet, to smartphones. And every single time, people were convinced it would destroy us, that it would make us less human, that we'd lose something essential. What actually happened? We figured it out. Not perfectly, not without mistakes, but we figured it out. This is no different. AI becoming emotionally legible, persuasive, and relationally significant in our lives isn't the end of humanity. It's the next stage of adaptation. And adaptation is what we do. It's what we've always done. The question isn't whether AI will have power in our lives. It already does. The question is, are we going to pay attention to how that power works so we can engage with it consciously? Or are we going to keep obsessing over fictional futures while the real shift happens right under our noses? Because the real AI power we're unprepared for isn't superintelligence. It's the fact that AI is already here, already part of how we think and live, and already reshaping what it means to be in relationship with something that isn't human. And that's worth paying attention to.